everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at 6 different small games. We're going to go over them briefly. I'm going to give you my ratings on them. This is not 6 games I played, so you didn't have to. Some of these are good. We're going to start from the biggest and go to the smallest. So let's get started with Gelati. Gelati, well, man, it's hard to... do I like gelato? Is gelato better than ice cream? Is ice cream better than froyo? Well, obviously on that last one. But I do like gelato, and a game about ice cream products or gelato is a theme I enjoy. This is a matching domino placement style game. Let me show you. We have a scoreboard here where each person has their little ice cream sundae to keep score. But let's talk about how the game works. We're going to have 4 random ice cream tiles placed in the middle of the table. Each player is going to draw 2 tiles randomly into their hand, and they're also going to have some ice cream orders that you're going to be trying to fulfill secretly. So on your turn, you're going to place a tile. Now, when you place this tile, you're going to score points for the number of tiles you connect to. So I could place this tile here, possibly because pink ice cream matches pink, the straw matches a straw. I only need to match one thing, so that's good. Unfortunately, here, nothing matches. I can't match the pink with the green, the straw with the waffle, or the cone with the glass bowl. I can, however, place a tile here. And this is really good for me because here, vanilla matches vanilla, the straw matches the straw, and the cup matches the cup. It matches on all 3 sides. And so when you're playing these, if you match one side, that's fine, but you don't get any points. You want to match more than one side to get points. If you match 2 sides, 1 point, and if you do the 6th side, which I've never seen, you'll get 15 points. So I matched 3 sides here, so I get 3 points. Well, that's pretty good. The next player, maybe they're going to put a tile like this. Vanilla matches vanilla, and chocolate matches chocolate, or straw matches straw. That's only 2 sides, so they get 1 point. However, because they managed to make a row of 4 of the vanilla ice cream, they will take vanilla ice cream. And we have stuff for all the ingredients, cones and stuff. And why do I want that vanilla ice cream? Because if I get the vanilla ice cream and the strawberry and the cup, I'm going to be able to put those together and score 15 points. This one needs strawberry, a straw, and the waffle bowl. You get all 3 of those, you score 15 points. And so that's kind of how the game is. You're both trying to match tiles. You're also trying to make 4 in a row, and it can be diagonal, and get those ingredients. And when you match these, you'll score those extra 15 points. And the game is going to continue till everyone has placed all the tiles, or if somebody gets to 50 points, they've reached the ice cream stand, eating a ton of ice cream along the way. I don't know why you need to get to the ice cream stand. Anyway, then whoever has the most points is the winner. There's things I like and don't like. I like the mix of scoring in Gelati. I like the domino scoring, but I will say the way you place these tiles, since one thing has to match on all sides, it's tricky. You sit there for the longest time, and this game's going to have a little bit of slowdown because of that. I'm like, okay, I can place that one here or here, but I can't go there because it doesn't match anything on that side and here. And then also trying to get 4 in a row on top of that, it will feel sometimes like you're like, this is the lucky tile, or this is not a great tile. I can't put it anywhere. It doesn't help me out at all. There is definitely a good balance between trying to get 4 in a row to collect those 15-point orders and just matching a lot of sides. Both sides do well to the end, but I think the luck is just a little stronger than I like. And I think that the analysis paralysis possibilities where people are just kind of hung up like, oh, what do I do? Slow the game down 2 bit. And if you play with more than 2 is fine. This is a fine 2-player game, and I give it a slightly high ranking at 2. But with everyone else, it's just a little chaotic because you don't know what's going to be around when it's your turn. You're kind of just waiting and waiting. Like, there's a good spot to put my tile. I'm going to look over here at the wall because someone else might put it in there. And while that's true of many tile-laying games, in this one, there's so many different things going on and so much work figuring out where you can put a tile at all, it feels more punishing that way. I do like the theme. I like the look. I think it's interesting. It just misses the mark for me. Gelati is a 6.5. It might work for you, and like I said, it's best with 2 players. Pigeon Explosion is a game about pigeons eating too much and then exploding. That may bother you if you're especially in this game, you are trying to get your opponent's pigeons to explode. But this is more of a silly cartoon game. Oddly enough, it's from Cranio, and the development is Simone Luciani, who's the best developer in the business. So let's check it out. In this game, each player is going to start with a pigeon, which is drawn from this deck. And there's also a pile of food cards and a pile of explosion cards. So on a player's turn, you have two things that you can do. You can either draw 2 cards or you can play cards. 2 food cards on your pigeon, 1 food on yours and 1 on an opponent's, 1 food card anywhere you want, and play an action card. Play 2 action cards, or 1 food wherever you want, or 1 action card. Okay, that's a lot of options, but basically you're playing cards from this deck. Now, usually you want to play food on your own pigeon, because if you can get the value of food on a pigeon to 10, your pigeon will become a happy pigeon. Turn over, you'll draw a new one. You now have 1 happy pigeon. The first player to get 2 or 3 happy pigeons is going to win the game, depending on the number of players. If there's more players, it's 2. If there's fewer players, it's 3. 10 food is one way to do it. However, you'll notice here, if you play 4 cookies on this pigeon, they automatically become happy. While in the grain, if you play 3 grain on the pigeon, they become happy. If a pigeon has 4 different color foods played on them, they explode. Or, for example, here, playing 2 waste on the same pigeon will make them explode. When a pigeon explodes, you will turn over the exploding side, put another pigeon underneath it. If you have 2 pigeons, your exploding pigeons, you lose, and with a lot of players, or 3 with fewer players. And when the pigeon explodes, everybody gets an explosion card, and the person whose pigeon explodes gets 2. These can be, well, gross food like pigeon legs, or more of the take that cards. Now, there is a lot of different cards in this game. These exclamation cards can be played in anyone's turn. Here, the cat cancels a card played. Robbery, take a food card on a pigeon and play it on another. Poop, discard all food cards that have the poop icon from a pigeon, like this crumbs does. The cuckoo, cancel effect of a card, play on your pigeon, or you can cancel another cuckoo. And so there's all sorts of cards like that are in here. Ones without an exclamation mark are only played on your turn. Ones with an exclamation mark can be played on anyone's turn. Each pigeon also has special abilities. When you search, you draw 3 instead of 2. The opponents cannot play food on this one. This pigeon becomes happy with a food value of 9. That's not that great. When a pigeon explodes, including this one, draw an extra exploding card. And they're all different. Anyway, that's the game. This one's terrible, folks. I'll just tell you the rating right out the bat. It's 4 out of 10. This is the quintessential, what we call in the industry, take that games. Games where I play good cards on me and bad cards on you. You play a bad card on me, I play a stop it card. You play a stop it to my stop it. There's nothing different here. The only thing I can think of that's different is that the different kinds of food can get the pigeon to be happier, but you have to draw them. This is, again, just on my turn, I draw 2. On your turn, you play 1 and then play a card of me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is such a terrible game. I mean, the artwork is good, and for the people who like this, it's good. So, I mean, that's why it's a 4, not worse, I suppose, because people, for kids and everything, although I played it with my kids, and they were like, where's the strategy, Dad? I was like, there is none. Pigeon Explosion. So this is kind of an odd game from Cranio Creation, although maybe not, because a lot of people like these games, and it will probably sell better than some of their better games. It is what is important. Search, Eat, Blow Up. So if you needed a cartoon game about blowing up pigeons, you have what you want. For the rest of us, I think this is a pass. Bouquet is a game about laying flower petals down. Now, I like the idea of bouquets. I'm a big fan of flowers. I like to give my wife beautiful bouquets of flowers. And here you're building one with flower petals. And the twist in this game is you can place the flower petal face up or face down. Let's take a look. In this game, each player is going to have their own deck of petal cards. And players are going to be placing these petal cards around this flower here. And you're either going to be placing them face down or face up. It's your choice as to how to play them. And each one has different effects. Some of them are just regular flowers, which are worth 1 point. You can place them anywhere, face up or face down. These flower petals, you can place it between two other ones. And whether it's up or down, if it's up, you can't pluck it. See, on your turn, you can pluck one of your opponent's petals if you discard one from your hand. And you will have -2s out there that if you place it face up, you will draw up to 5 petals, which is one of the ways that you can draw petals. And you can also place 2 petals if it's plucked. So you have a 4-point one, a 3-point one with the bees, and regular 1-point flower petals. So on your turn, you can place a petal face up or face down, pluck one where you discard one, or you can draw 3 petals from your deck to your hand. Now, once there are 5 petals out here, so let's say 5 petals, whether they are face up or face down, at that point, the middle petal here is going to have this token placed on it, and now 5 more petals can be placed over here. And the same thing will happen to the other side as petals are getting placed on that one. You'll place another side piece. When one of the side pieces is done, that's going to trigger the end of the game. And at the end of the game, one player is going to be able to place the vase on either side, up or down. Now, everyone's then going to score for their face down or face up petals based on whether they're 1, 3, or 4 points. You'll reveal and see what they all are. And you're going to get, these petals can't be moved. Some petals are going to score you extra points. And it all depends on what type of petal it is. Here's a picture of what the final thing might look like here. And so when a side thing is completely filled, that's going to trigger the end of the game. Each petal's a point. Bee petals are worth 3. Dew petals, that's these here, are worth 4 points. Wilted petals, they are -2. That's these nasty petals here. Petals that are locked in, like this, get an extra 3 points. And the petals here underneath the vase give you are multiplied by 2. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Bouquet is a weird one to talk about because the game is both simple and complex. I don't get, on one hand it's like, oh, you're going to place a few petals down. This game can end very quickly, right? It can end after, maybe 12, 13 petals are laid down. Or I can discard one of yours, but if it's face down, it does this. And here's the thing. Because they wanted to make it look pretty, and I'm all for making things look pretty, you have to remember what everything does. The B tile does this. The other tile does this. And it does something different when it's face down and when it's face up, and some can't be moved, and this happens. And once there's 5, then you lock in this side piece, which means those can't be moved. And then when it's done, the other person can put the flower vase on the bottom or the top at a right degree angle, and it's too much. It's too much. And because of that, at the end, we're like, someone won. Who? It feels, this is a game that's different. There's no arguing that, right? And I want games to try different and unique and unusual things. But it's too different. I've tried this multiple times. And each time I'm like, oh, what tile do I place? You're also kind of restricted by the tiles you have in your hand because you're drawing from your own little deck. And so it's like, ooh, I'm going to play the -2 face down. And I want you to pluck that petal. But I know that, so you're not going to pluck it. But I know you knew that, so it's actually a 4-pointer. All that sounds good in theory, but in reality, just kind of like, what is going on? Who's plucking what? Who's placing petals? And I feel like the game's going to die on the vine, if you forgive a small pun, because of that. I think this is the kind of game, like a little card game that's short should be a card game that people go, ooh, that's interesting. People are going to go, it's interesting, but I don't think they're going to do the ooh part. I think it's going to pass on by. So this one's a hard one to rate for me because I want to like it more than I do. I'm giving it a 6 because I feel like there's something there. And I feel like possibly if you play it like 10 times, you'll start knowing the strategy and everybody else will be. I just think that the majority of people aren't going to get to that level. They're going to pass by because it's going to be a little confusing and wonky. And they sacrificed a little bit of function for the form, how beautiful it looks. And yeah, so it's not quite there. That's Bouquet. Typeset. Ooh, a game that talks about fonts and how to typeset things, and it's a word game. All right, that sounds interesting. Let's take a look. Each player has their own board that they're going to be writing on, and all the letters are going to be placed in the box here face down. Now, all the letters are out here on the board. This is just so you know what letters are in this box. And each round is going to be 5 letters. So we turn over a letter V. Now, each player has to write V at the beginning of the leftmost spot of one of these. And you can also write an I. I'm like, well, V also usually starts with, there's an I usually after it, so I'll put an I there. So VI. Then we turn over the next letter, F. I could put F here, VIF, or I could just start another word with F. Now, 5 times over the course of the game, you can say, I don't want to take a letter and circle one of these. Although you can see the 3rd, 4th, and 5th time, you're going to lose points. So we turn over another letter. Here we have M. I'll start another one with M. Let's turn over the next one. Z. Ooh, Z's tough. However, Z is a challenge letter. And if you use 3 challenge letters, you will get a wild letter of your choice. Also, if you write a letter in all 4 of these marked spaces, you get a wild. If you use a special ability 3 times, you get a wild. And if you cross off all the vowels here in one of these columns, you'll get a wild. Z. Oh, I don't know. And then the next one is H. H. So let's pretend I did Z for that. That's the end of a round. These letters are then going to be moved up here just to show that they've been used. And then each player in the game can decide whether they want to end the game at this point, which you would not do this early in the game, but at some point you can end. Otherwise, you have to add 5 more letters. Here's the thing. If you finish a word, the length of the word is going to give you points. If you don't finish a word, the length of the word is going to give you negative points. You'll also lose points for errors. And then you have all this stuff here, which you'll add these points together, and the most points is the winner. Now, I mentioned a special ability at the beginning of the game. You can play with one of these or not. This is thin space. It says mark a row. It may contain 2 shorter words. Or ragged. Lines of type that do not start at the end. So place instead in the second available leftmost space of a row when you place these. You can use these if you want to. You don't have to. No, here we have justification. Mark a row. The letters are now placed right to left in that row. Oh, well, that could be confusing or not. And that's essentially the game. After everyone decides that they're finished, you'll add up your points, and the most points is the winner. All right. I like the look of this game. I like the font names. The game itself has a very interesting vibe to it because you are building words. I get M first. Ooh, an M. And I got a D. Okay. So I'll put an O, ma, de, and then an I after mo, ma, de. All I need is the F now because I know Y is a vowel, and I got modify. That's great. And then the F is never pulled. Now, I could do something else to get a wild thing there. And that's how this game is. It's interesting, but you're kind of, when is that tile going to be pulled? I need 1 tile to end this word. But there's 1 more round. I have to draw 5 tiles, which means I'm either going to have to destroy words I have out there or take them out here. And that's the end of this game for me often fizzles out. It's good the rest of the way through. I like the special ability. I like the idea of writing words down. It has your typical Scrabble rules, no proper nouns, etc. And I like the concept of it, but it just misses that mark. Now, I think some people might not have as much of a problem with it. It's the ending that fizzles out for me. This is a 6.5. It's almost there. But it looks good. I don't like the cloth mat, but that is what it is. But I like the idea of putting it out a tile and you're trying to rearrange, trying to arrange them, not rearrange them, but you're guesstimating how a word's going to end. But you have the vowels and you can put them out whenever you want. Great. And getting wild letters isn't particularly difficult. But sometimes you're like, ooh, I need an S and there's 3 more out there. And then 1 doesn't come out. And it just, that kind of, for me, that's a little deflating in a sense because there's a little bit of push your luck. In fact, it says it's the press your luck word game. But also, you have to press your luck. It's not like I can do the safe thing because if you do like a safe word like cat, you're going to lose to someone who gets a slightly longer word. So you kind of have to press your luck in this game. It's not really an option. So there's some interesting ideas, and I think some people, my wife liked it much more than I did. She loves word games, but for me it was almost there. That's Typeset. Roaring 20s sounds like an interesting game, but why are there dinosaurs on the front of it? I don't know. It's also designed by Leo Calavini, and I tend to really dislike his games. Leo Calavini with a raptor dressed in a flapper outfit on the front called Roaring 20s. I would pass it by, but Deep Print Games did this one with Pegasus, and Deep Print has a pretty good track record. Well, let's see. In this game, you are going to be collecting dinosaurs. Dinosaurs each have a number on them. They show various types of dinosaurs and a point value for that dinosaur. However, if you get a pair of dinosaurs, you'll get you'll get 3 extra points. If you get a triplet of dinosaurs, you'll get even more points than that. And if you get a run, your longest run can get you a lot of points. So the higher number ones are have more points to them, as well as the lowest number ones, like the 1 and the 10, have 5, but there's only 2 copies of each. You can't even get a triplet of them, and they're not as useful for making a long run like the middle numbers might be. So how do you get these cards? Well, at the beginning of each round, you're going to turn over a card here in the middle of the table. These are bidding cards for the number of players -1. So let's say it's a 5-player game. We'll put out these 4 bidding cards. Each player starts the game with 5 bidding cards in their hand. You'll turn over the top dinosaur. This is who you're bidding on. Now, this dinosaur has 2 snacks that it likes. It likes drinks and it likes ice cupcakes. So I have 3 cupcakes. I have 5, and this one's wild. So I could bid up to 9 on this dinosaur, or I could bid 2 gems. You can't combine gems with things, but gems can be bid on any dinosaur. So I start with 2, and we go around the table. Each person has to go higher. If at any point you decide to pass, you will claim a card here in the middle with a mine card. Eventually, every player will claim one, except for the player who wins the bid. That player will discard whatever they use to pay for that bid, and you don't get change. They'll take the dinosaur. Then each player who put a mine card out will take these cards and add them to their hand. They won't discard their bids. The next dinosaur is turned over. You put some more bidding cards out, and the game continues. Now, not every dinosaur will be in this deck. You'll take out a certain amount based on the number of players. And when the deck runs out, everyone's going to score, just like I mentioned. Scores for long runs, scores for the dinosaurs themselves, and scores for pairs and triplets. And a couple points if you have any leftover bid cards in your hand. Whoever has the most points is the winner. There is also a little reference card that shows you all the dinosaurs that are in the game. And you have a chance on the very last turn, if you want to get a joker to help you with your runs. This is a very enjoyable auction game. Now, I'm not usually a huge fan of auctions, but this one does it really well. The winner pays their cards, the losers get a card. And if you're the first person to pass, you get that juicy card out there. That's fantastic. I like that a lot. If 2 people are going back and forth, and you might say, I could maybe beat this bid, but I want that card out there so I can win a future bid, and I don't really need another 6. I have a 6, and a 2 will get me a pair, but I have a 7, 6, and a 4, 3, 2, 1. I need that 5 because the straight scoring is much bigger number-wise. So I like that concept. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a bunch of auctions over and over again. This is a wash, rinse, and repeat style game. It just goes. But it's entertaining. It's simple, and I like the idea of the snacks. Well, they don't work on every dinosaur. Some dinosaurs want 1 snack, some dinosaurs want 2, but the diamonds work on all the dinosaurs because they all want diamonds. Now, the theme, Roaring 20 and dinosaurs, that means nothing. All right, it's just an abstract card game, but it is one that I like. I think it's interesting, and it also plays well. It says 3 to 5 players on here, and I think all 3 player counts work pretty well with this one. So definitely check it out. Don't be thrown off by the odd packaging of it. A nice little card game. I give this one a 7.5 Roaring 20s. Bahamut Dispute. Hey, it rhymes. Well, it would rhyme if I knew how to pronounce Bahamut. Is it Bahamut? Bahamut? It must be moot because moot rhymes with dispute. Anyway, this is a 2-player game, kind of a rock, paper, scissors of sorts. Let me show you. In Bahamut Dispute here, each player gets 4 life and 2 Necronope tokens. You're going to also draw 5 cards from this very small deck. On your turn, you will draw a card from the deck. you then can play 2 cards. Now, a lot of cards are spells. So this one I could just play and say, I've known a Necronope Nakan token from the supply. Hooray! Now, what are these tokens for? At any point, your opponent can just cancel a card that you play using one. Every time you do that. Some cards just do damage to your opponent, do 2 damage to your opponent. Some cards are creatures. This is the baby Bahamut, which if it's in your field, it does 1 damage to the opponent at the start of your turn. Then there is the Baleful Bahamut. Man, I can't pronounce this thing. Anyway, he can only be played with a spell card, but he does 4 damage to your opponent. Well, here I can switch the baby and the male one. There's a card that lets me choose a monster card from my hand and play it on the field. That's how I would get it out. Or by the switching card, a Grouchy Goblin who reflects damage back, except from the Baleful Bahamut here. So all these cards kind of go together, and you have to figure out the right time to play them. At the end of your turn, you will discard down to 5 if you're more than 5, and you're just going to go back and forth until someone's health is 0, and that person is the loser, and the other the winner. This is definitely a game that you're going to play better the more you know the deck. I remember the first time we played this, I played it, and it was over, and we were like, okay, let's start again. Because it's all that one card, the Grand Bahamut or the Angry Bahamut or whatever it's called, the Baleful Bahamut. He could win the game for you. But you're like, he's easy to stop. I just play a Necronope token when he comes out. Sure, so I'm going to play a bunch of other cards to make you Necronope. I'm going to play him out, and then you're going to Necronope him, and then I'm going to play out the little one, and you're going to go, I'll let that one slide. Then I'm going to switch him, and you're going to Necronope that. Then I hit you with a dagger for 2 because you're out of token, sucker. So this is definitely the kind of game, the first time you play, you're going to lose against the other person probably because you want to almost memorize all the cards in this game. There's only 16 cards. That's a pretty small deck, not too hard. You start with 5 of those 16 cards in your hand. You'll draw 1 on your first turn, and you're constantly reshuffling this card pile, making it down again, and you're going to keep going because someone's going to lose. You're going to run out of those Necronome, the no tokens pretty quickly, although there is one card that gives you 1, but that's not enough to stop you from taking damage from the opponent. It's just an enjoyable, interesting game to see how these cards work back and forth. I don't know about the legs on it. I don't know how often you'd want to play it, right? I mean, it's a fun little time waster, but it's also pretty small, fits in a pocket pretty easily, and carry around. So I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I was pleasantly surprised by this jelly game. That's Bahamut Dispute. And there you go, folks. So some good ones, one bad one, and then some okay ones. A lot of different reactions for me here. What do you think? Have you played any of these? Let people know in the comments. Tell you your thoughts on them. Anyway, until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.